During the intro, Brian, if you want to rip off any hockey cliches or anything like that, feel free. We usually say a few. You can feed off of me if you want.
Sure.
Dirce usually throws the screen up and builds an audience.
I feel like Ricky Bobby right now. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Save these jokes, my brother. Save these jokes.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Half an hour of kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah.
Throw
About
up
30, 35, 40. That should be good. I just have to be out of my house by 10.
All right. I'm going to fire up that corny skate video. Here we go.
Let's go. Give it a full 60 out there, boys. You know, pucks deep, all that good stuff.
Hang it one shift at a time.
One shift at a time.
Clip the boys on the bench on the way by. Game on!
Game on. Grab the nets, sticks in the middle. It's time for episode 52 of Straight Off the Pipe. We're here for an Oilers Nordiques breakfast this morning and doing a little bit of a podcast to talk about the game that's going to be on tonight at 8 p.m. In order to do that, in this breakfast episode of Straight Off the Pipe, we've got my co-host, as always, Mr. Mega Thread Mike Dursa. How you doing this morning, buddy? I see you've got a coffee instead of a beer this time.
Oh, yeah. It's the morning coffee.
There you go. Attaboy. And a special guest with us today is not only a customer of mine, a friend of mine. I've known him for well over 10 years in this city and asked him to come on because, for God's sakes, somehow he became a flippin' Avalanche fan. So I welcome to our show tonight, Mr. Brian Tremblay. How you doing, buddy?
We're good. My name's Brian, and I'm an I'm sorry, wrong
meeting.
The next one.
Yeah,
I'm doing good, boys. Hungover as piss, but I'm so pumped to be here. I had to get drunk last night to deal with you two idiots.
You know what? It's a common occurrence around here. In fact, there's a few that have done that in the past for sure. In fact, I'm surprised you're not drunk right now. All that said, we got a fun game with the Oilers and the Nordiques coming up here later on today. The Colorado Avalanche are 51-14-6. They're first in the Central. The Oilers are 42-25-5 with second in the Pacific. The Oilers are hosting at home. The Avalanche beat Winnipeg 5-4 in overtime last night. And so they'll be coming into Edmonton on a back-to-back, which suits us well, seeing as there isn't a airport in Winnipeg. I'm sure the boys from Colorado will be tired after they had to drive down to North Dakota to catch the plane to Edmonton. So that suits us well. The Oilers are 28-12-2 against conference opponents. Edmonton ranks fifth in the Western Conference, averaging 3.5 goals a game, led by Draisaitl with 50. The Avalanche are 31-7-4 in the Western Conference, and Colorado is actually up there in penalty minutes, I'm noticing. They average 9.2 penalty minutes per game, fifth most in the Western Conference, and Landeskog leads that with 78. Colorado beat Edmonton 3-2 the last time they met, and that was Mikko Rantanen scoring 2 goals for the Avalanche win. So we head in tonight with note Chris Russell on COVID-19 protocols. The Avalanche are missing Gabriel Landeskog with a knee, Nazem Kadri with a UBI, and Ryan Murray out with a hand or wrist. So there we are. We've got the game teed up. We've got our friends here to talk about it. Maybe let's just start right there. How the hell did you become an Avalanche fan in Edmonton, Brian?
Born and raised in Ontario, so I kind of had my pick of the litter, and there's no way in hell you could pay me to be a Leafs fan. So,
you've come to the right place.
Yeah. So honestly, I was just getting into hockey, probably playing. I was a fan of the 93 Canadiens, kind of a Canadiens fan. And then I kind of dove into the history of kind of hockey and kind of really liked Adam Foote. Found out he played junior in my hometown of Sault Ste. Marie. So then I kind of hopped on the Quebec bandwagon, you want to call it. It wasn't a bandwagon. They were kind of awful around that time. But when you break it down, Sault Ste. Marie hates Eric Lindros. So that's a very impactful trade that was made. Really kind of set up the foundation. You got Burnaby Joe, all those guys. And then funny enough, the next year you get Patrick Waugh. So basically I was a cake eater and just jumped on a team.
I love cake. There's nothing wrong with that. We lost Durst. I just looked up. That's okay. The show's definitely better off without him. Let's just talk, you and I.
Yeah. So I love the Avs. They had a good foundation. I thought, again, I always talk about that trade, the Eric Lindros not wanting to play there.
It's the biggest trade in the history of hockey, I think.
Yeah, and I think that laid the foundation how they won their Stanley Cups.
No doubt about it. Yeah, without that trade, without getting Forsberg and Duchesne and whoever else they got in that trade was, outside of Gretzky getting traded to LA, I'm not sure that there could be a bigger trade in the history of hockey. Interesting. And you said that you're a fan of Adam Foote, and here we are in episode number 52 of Straight Off the Pipe. How's that for a coincidence?
I love it. Now you just got to cut to the middle of the ice and let him knock your ass out, because that's how I love that guy. That guy played so well like that.
For sure.
My favorite defenseman of ever.
Did you do you have an eye on his kid too? Do you watch Cal Foot at all?
I know a little bit. Didn't he play in the Western League? Didn't he play for Kelowna?
Kelowna. And his brother, yeah.
And now I think he's kicking around in Tampa Bay, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he played juniors. He played the World Juniors for a bit, and good forward, good shot.
Yeah, for sure. Tough like his old man. Speaking of tough like his old man, you guys picked up the kid of our assistant coach, Dave Manson. You got Josh Manson on the team. What do you think about some of the additions that Colorado made at the trade deadline?
I thought they were smart. I really thought they were smart. Again, I thought we were getting Giroux. I really did.
I did too. Yeah.
The problem I had with it though is Joe Sakic is not a mortgage the future kind of DM. Mm-hmm. So I really think the asking price was a lot, and as you can see with Florida, it kind of was. So I don't think there's any way that Colorado is going to give up that much. And instead, you get a Lehkonen that's going to play in your middle six, call it. Mm-hmm. And sure. You gave up a second and Justin Barron. And Justin Barron would have got buried on the depth chart anyways with how Colorado's D is based.
Yeah.
So I think they were smart moves. You see what Giordano went to go to the Leafs. And Colorado got Josh Manson for a second. And these guys Colorado doesn't buy like fancy names. They seem to just get these role players that fit right in, and they just they've always been playing with the team. And then 12 games after the deadline, you're like, oh, Colorado's got that guy, and that's kind of what happens.
Mm-hmm. They're like that other natural disaster team, the Hurricanes. When you have the analytics, you just kind of plug and play. You find the right guy and you put him in, and if your analytics are good and you've done the research, then you can generally find chemistry that way. So I thought the Colorado Avalanche might have had the best trade deadline, to be honest. I think picking up an ex-Oiler and a player I love in Andrew Cogliano. I think for your fourth line and being able to, like you said, whether Lehkonen plays on that third line or fourth line, I think you've got some depth there that way. But all of a sudden with a third line of Lehkonen, Newhook, and whoever ends up on there, Comfer or O'Connor or something, like that's a hell of a third line. And when you've got Nico Sturm that you acquired with Andrew Cogliano on the fourth line, that's pretty formidable. There's no doubt about it. I see Durst is back. Do you want to pop in and make any mention there, Mr. Megathread? Or are you just here for the good looks?
Now that I've got high-speed internet again by hooking up a cable instead of running off of Wi-Fi, I think the show will be a little bit better.
There we go. Attaboy.
Amateur hour
is over. Yeah, you'd hate to do that before the show, brother.
Yeah, no, nothing like planning.
We don't do that around here.
Let's
Not
go.
a chance.
So looks like Oilers might be getting your backup tonight. Is kind of
Pavel Francouz.
what I'm thinking, and
Nope.
I guess. Oh, you think Kemper?
I thought Frank.
You think Kemper's starting?
Francouz played last night in Winnipeg.
Did he?
Yeah, so Francouz played last night in Winnipeg.
Oh.
Which is the smart move if you want my honest opinion. Winnipeg's not really a threat. You're pretty much going to have a playoff atmosphere, so why not put your best foot forward and have Kemper there?
Yeah, I saw the other day that the Oilers were thinking of going to Smith again, and to me, that might be asking for some problems. But
if they do, something's wrong with Mikko. They can't just keep. I think Woodcroft's starting to play a little bit of cat and mouse. You know, he probably learned that from McClellan because McClellan was awesome at that too. Remember? Oh yeah, we're gonna start Mikko tonight, and Draisaitl's gonna be in the lineup, and then all of a sudden they aren't. So
yeah, I mean Mikko's coming off some kind of illness anyway. It wasn't COVID, but so I don't know if there's something still bugging him there. I wasn't expecting Mike Smith to get 3 straight starts in California there, but that's what happened. So.
Me either, nor was I expecting him to win all 3, given how we're doing. But speaking of winning streaks, how about this? Since Woodcroft took over, that's been 28 games. The Edmonton Oilers, in those 28 games, have the most wins in the NHL. Not the highest winning percentage, but the most wins in the NHL since Woodcroft took over. And in 28 games, they have 3 winning streaks. 2 5-game winning streaks, and now they're on a 6-game heater. How the hell do you do that? 3 5+ winning streaks in 28 games. It's he's got them going in the right direction for sure. There's no doubt about it. Anything you see for today or tonight there, Durst? Like, what do you think we're gonna end up with? What's the game looking like? What do you see for a preview?
Well, I think it's either a blowout or another tight game with Colorado.
Blowout which way?
For the Avs.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Lack of confidence. So you don't think that the best team in the NHL over the last 28 games can take it to the Avalanche? Well, I don't want to ask Brian for a prediction because I know where he's going, but
surprise you.
Yeah, well, maybe. Well, let's go. Let's maybe ask for predictions and scores towards the end. But what type of a game do you think we're going to see tonight, Brian? Like, do you think it's going to be a lockdown 2-1, or are we going for a 6-4 game like we had in Winnipeg last night?
I feel like I don't think the score is really going to matter in terms of whether it's a lockdown 2-1, 6-4, anything like that. What I really think you're going to see is this could be the fastest paced game you've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think this could be the ODR at Rogers Place.
Mm-hmm. Fun. I hope so, you're right.
I really do. These guys are fast. Everybody knows they're fast. You know, Stuck's not having Kadri in. That's really going to kind of a little bit of you'll have to navigate that. So, but I think it's going to be probably one of the fastest games you're going to see. And pace will dictate, and whoever has the deeper bench, I think really will prevail in this because of the pace being so fast. With you guys have, again, your depth sucks. It's gotten better, but like it's you live and die by 2 numbers, and you're looking for everybody else to fall in line. I haven't had Landeskog in how many games, and I seem to still be doing okay. I haven't had Gerard a couple games, and still doing okay. So it's just that, you know, living and dying by those 2 guys or somebody else just picking it up around them to figure it out. And if you guys can dictate pace and actually go deep into your bench so they can keep up, you guys have a chance. You know, everybody has a chance, but, you know.
Long drive from North Dakota last night, right? Well, I think that's probably going to work in our favor a little bit. I think, you know, that you're right about the depth. I think our forward depth after getting Evander Kane and having some guys back from injuries like Puljujarvi recently, that's definitely helping our depth. I think we're still lacking it on the back end for sure. You know, the Kulak acquisition helped with some of that depth, but ultimately, I think it's going to be a track meet tonight. I think we're going to go up and down the ice. We've got probably 4 or 5 of the most talented players in the entire NHL on the ice tonight. Outside of Sidney Crosby, and I refuse to bring up that guy in Toronto's name, so I won't. But that's a lot of talent on the ice, and we should be privy to a pretty goddamn entertaining hockey game. I'm really looking forward to it.
As a hockey fan, I feel like you want a 3-1, 2-1 game. If this thing goes to like 6-5, 6-4, I don't think you want that. I really think you want a playoff game here. It's going to be a playoff game.
Well, I mean, Kemper should provide that for you. If he's coming rested, he's got a .925 save percentage on the year. We haven't had a goalie with a .925 since Grant Fuhr. So that's obviously falling in your favor as well. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's, with a little bit of injuries on the Avalanche, I think that cuts into your depth a little bit. So it should be a pretty even match with the way that the Oilers are going right now and the momentum they have. I think we have probably 2 of the best teams in the entire NHL going head to head. What do you think, Durs?
Having to take a horse and buggy from Winnipeg to North Dakota to Fargo, North Dakota to get on a plane to, come into Edmonton, I think that maybe works in our favor. No, all kidding aside, I think it will be, back and forth kind of hockey like it was in Denver the last time they kind of locked horns. And for me, really, it comes down to goaltending. And if Kemper's playing, I like the Avs' chances of coming out of that a little bit better off. But you know what? Edmonton's rolling right now, and they always get up for, good competition.
Do they, Durs? Yeah. Do they really? The Oilers always get up for good competition.
Well,
maybe since Woodcroft was hired.
Exactly.
I would say the complete opposite of that before Woody came around, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Under Jay, I mean, they have gotten up for big games, and you know what? Before that too, they won games in Florida this year under somebody else as well.
They also took a 6-0 shit kicking too, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, they did at home.
That's right.
Yeah, they can play with anybody in the league. So, like I say, it's either going to be a tight one or it's going to be a rout, and I guess that's easy to say because it can only go that way. But I'm not surprised by a 6-5, 6-4 kind of score tonight. I wouldn't be.
You guys are on drugs. This thing's called straight off the pipe because you guys are on the pipe. Wow. Calling Edmonton like the best team in the NHL. You guys are on drugs. Come on, give me a break, guys.
Last 28 games, buddy. Stats show. Proof's there.
Do you have Jasper Ave booked off for the parade after this? Come on.
Not Jasper Ave. It's coming through Sherwood Park.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming north all the way to Grand Prairie because I'm gonna be part of it too.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna need the finest form of crack in Grand Prairie, so to make sure.
Well, up here it's either meth or fentanyl. So,
with your camouflage hat, you didn't need to tell Brian you're from Grand Prairie. Your Grand Prairie's already showing, Durs.
You can't see me. Shut up.
What do you think as far as playoff matchups go, Brian? It looks like we're going to end up with the Kings, whether we have home ice advantage or not. Things are maybe still a little bit open with who Colorado might end up with. Who do you think they're going to play, and who do you want them to play?
Well, I think it's flip-flopping between Dallas and Vegas right now, I believe. Correct, is who's going to... honestly,
for Vegas, then.
Well, both teams scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie. History dictates.
What happened last year?
Last year with Vegas, Colorado looked like the best team in the NHL for the first 6 games they played in the playoffs, and then they look like a fucking Pee-wee AA team.
Yeah,
4 teams they played in the playoffs. I'd never seen a team get leaned on so easily.
Yeah,
and Vegas just erased them. But then you go back to the year before.
Yeah, Dallas,
where Dallas took them to 7, and the Nazem Kadri in front of the net. Who do I take? And then
what do I do with my hands?
Oh, I was sitting in the clubhouse at Lewis Estates, finished a round of golf for when Game 7 was on, and Dallas just scored, I swear I almost threw a temper tantrum. It would have been pitiful. I was going to flip a table, and oh yeah. I'm scared of both. I think Vegas might be less. They're not the team they were. I think this year. I take Vegas. I think Dallas is. They always seem to show up. They got veteran presence. Pavelski's there, and that guy don't sleep on anything.
Not in the playoffs, bro.
No.
Neither does Jamie Benn.
Unless, honestly, I'll take Vegas. And I think they beat him in 6.
Okay. And you're hoping
Dallas?
in Vegas, and I don't know. I think if I was you, I think I'd want that too. I think I'd be looking for Vegas. I think without Stone and, I know Eichel's been in and out a little bit, but without those two, they actually look like an expansion team, right? Like Vegas didn't look like an expansion team in their first year or two. Then you go out and get every big name player that's available in the entire NHL, and all of a sudden you've traded away all your depth. So I think that matchup would come down to whether the goaltending is healthy. I think if they've got a healthy goalie for that series, it could go 6 or 7. But if you get Vegas in the first round and they don't have healthy goaltending, I think you're looking at probably a 5-game series.
I'm honestly a cautiously optimistic Colorado playoff fan. Hence my previous statement of temper tantrums after the second round. Has
McKinnon made it out of the second round?
No, I don't think anybody has. Cogliano won a cup, so you picked up a little veteran presence. I think he won a cup. Did he win a cup? Anaheim?
Did Cogliano win a cup in Anaheim? I don't know if he did, to be honest.
Fact check that.
Yeah, I'll have a look. I'm curious if the Avalanche even have a player that has won a Stanley Cup, or are they like the St. Louis Blues a few years ago?
I think Cogs went to Anaheim after they won.
I think it was the year after, yeah.
But the biggest factor is Darcy Kemper. I'm going to tell you right now, Darcy Kemper has never been to the playoffs. The guy played where goaltenders go to die in Phoenix, and literally like a phoenix, he's risen out of the ashes because he doesn't play there anymore. And sure, he's represented Canada at the World Championships. He's shown up there. I like Kemper. The guy's I think he's got ice in his veins and he's poised, but I'm nervous as shit. Playoffs is a brand new season. Somebody that's never seen it.
Yeah.
Cale Makar has been to more playoff games than Darcy Kemper.
I think the thing for you to question more so than your goaltending when playoffs come is the way the game changes from regular season to playoffs. And the question I would have is, are the Avs built for the playoffs? It becomes that trench warfare. Can the Avs handle that? And it's a question that you can only answer in the playoffs.
Well, I think look at the deadline. They didn't make sexy moves. They made tough moves. Josh Manson, nobody's fucking with that guy.
Right.
Nope.
Cogliano's still going to be a bulldog. He's still going to get it. Lekkonen's not a small guy, and he's going to lean on you. So they definitely
Lehkonen was one of the best two-way players Montreal had. You guys plucking him out of there was great.
I think we got bigger.
Yeah.
In terms, Landeskog will be back. For playoffs. I think it's going to be different. The other factor too is Nazem Kadri. Can he not be a piece of shit in the playoffs?
Isn't that the question of the hour? I mean, were you surprised when he was suspended last year?
No, that was a dirty fucking hit. You got to do this. You just go, why?
Exactly.
I think you want him to walk the line of being a piece of shit, but not getting suspended,
but not cross it.
Should
we just put odds right now on him getting suspended in this playoffs? Well, what has it been? 3 or 4 in a row? 3 out of 4?
I don't think he does. He's a free agent at the end of the year. This will determine his free agency, having a good playoffs. I also think he's transformed into a different kind of player. Yeah. He is a goal scorer and a pure scorer now, as opposed to that ratty, getting the dirty kind of job done. I don't think he needs to play that role anymore. You have Travis McDermott, who's like a 6'6" defenseman, and Josh Manson. So after those two are done beating the piss out of you, you don't need Kadri to be a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll add to what you're saying there, though. I think you need defensemen that can survive series and have a little bite along with their bark. But I also think you need that from your forwards. And when I watch the Avalanche, really the guy that seems to have the most bite most nights is McKinnon.
Yeah, attitude-wise, for sure. I would say Landy has some bite in his game. There's no doubt about it. He's leading the team in penalty minutes, and I think that Kadri can do it too.
Yeah. I just don't want McKinnon fighting anymore. Please, dear
no kidding,
Lord, baby Jesus of the hockey gods, please, Nathan McKinnon, keep your goddamn fucking gloves on.
Well, you don't really need that as much in the playoffs anyway, because then you're sitting down for 5 minutes. You need somebody that's smashing people all the time. That's what playoff hockey's all about. Is the physicality. It's not sitting in the box.
If it comes down to a, go ahead, Brad.
That's what McKinnon wants to do. He wants to do everything. He wants to fight somebody. He wants to put the puck in the net. He wants to hit you. He wants to go. He'll do anything, and it just shows you got to reel him in, though. You got to reel him in.
Yeah, you took that right off the tip of my tongue, because I was going to say, it kind of reminds me of a LeCavalier a little bit, where, like he can do it all if he needs to. You look at that fight in 2005 where LeCavalier and Iginla dropped the gloves in the playoffs. So I could see that type of scrap, right? Where McKinnon's just, because he's a feisty MFer, I don't think there's many guys that hate losing in this league more than McKinnon, right? He's up there in the top 5. So, that can drive you to do crazy things, especially when you're frustrated and you haven't made it past the second round in your career.
And it's funny you mentioned Iginla, because right away that's who I was thinking of. Like, he basically willed the Flames to the playoffs by that that whole playoff run, taking on the kind of the goon from, except for LeCavalier, the goon from every other team as they went. He'd only have one fight per series, but he had one fight per series. Like, I remember him going to town on Darian Hatcher, and me as an Oilers fan, I'm cheering that. And it's probably the only time I'm ever going to watch the Flames. But I was watching that, and I'm thinking, every shot that he's landing on Hatcher is one shot for Ryan Smith for a cross-check in the back over the course of his career. And I loved it. I loved it. That endeared me to Jerome McGinley. I mean, he's an honest player and whatever. He's the only Flame I'll ever say good things about.
Me too.
Yeah. McKinnon could be that guy, will your team to go on through series. But, don't initiate that fight the first minute of the first game of the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think he's got that capability to throw a team on his back. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's get into some predictions here, boys. We've got the game at 8:00 tonight. My only prediction is that by that time, Brian will be at least 6 beer deep. Outside of that, maybe I'll go last, actually. Durst, let's get a prediction from you.
I'm predicting that Brian will be 6 beers deep by noon 30 today, just to keep that hangover at bay.
Don't tell my wife.
I'm going to go with a 6-5 Oilers win tonight. We catch Avalanche kind of late in the third, not being able to withstand kind of us having an extra day off here.
All right, 6-5. Any keys to the game, highlight of the game? What's your outward prediction? Like, what's your awkward game day prediction that's going to happen?
Keys to the game is, goaltending, I guess. I'm going to say that Draisaitl gets a pair today.
6-5 win. Draisaitl gets a pair. All right. It's in the books. Mr. Tremblay. In fact, the owner of our network was like, you guys have Mario Tremblay on? I was just going to let it ride, to be honest, but that's all right. It is not. It is the Brian. What do you think, buddy? Who's winning this one? You going to pick the Oilers?
Fuck no. So I'm going to go 3-1 Colorado. Hot take. Colorado will score first, and that's what will give them the key to the game. Makar with the game winner.
Follow-up question.
Hart Trophy nominee. Makar with the game winner.
Good segue. I was just going to ask you, who who's more important to your team right now, do you think? Is it Makar or is it McKinnon?
Both, because they both do different things. No one's. I don't think any of them are less important than others. I just think Makar has done this just a skyrocket to get to that level of a McKinnon, and he is the McKinnon of the back end, and McKinnon is, you know what I mean. Those guys are the heart and soul and anchor, and Makar is the best defenseman in hockey right now. You can maybe throw
top three
Yossi.
for sure.
Maybe fight a Yossi.
Maybe Hedman.
Yeah, except you guys.
But if I'm starting a franchise from scratch, my first pick on the back end is Cale Makar. I promise you.
And yet the Oilers are paying Darnell Nurse more than Cale Makar.
Yeah, fair enough. You know, like Colorado's done very well at getting guys to take hometown discounts, right? I think Joe Sakic has done a phenomenal job of managing that cap space. He resembles the old Red Wings way, right? When Steve Yzerman would take $6 million a year and Lidstrom would take $6 million a year, and then everybody after that had to take $6 million or less. There was nobody that was going to get paid more than Lidstrom or Yzerman, and that was the way it went, you know. And like McKinnon's got the best team-friendly contract in the entire NHL by a fucking country mile. And, you know, you guys got that cap space to work with in the meantime. And I think Joe Sakic's become one of the best GMs in the entire NHL based on how he's done this. So, I don't think we're overpaying Nurse, to be honest, if we want to jump back to that. I just think you guys are underpaying Makar. So good on you.
That just shows the team.
That's right.
That.
Yep. Tight knit, yep, absolutely. You know, that they all want to win too, right? That's when you don't have one person that's looking for the big contracts, and it definitely lends to that. All right. I'm going to go somewhere in between you guys, I think. I'm actually going to predict the Colorado win, and I think that we're going to lose 4-3. Let's go with I keep predicting it, so I'm just going to do it till it happens. A Vander Kane, Gordie Howe hat trick.
Ooh, I like that. I'm going to throw one out there. How many block shots do you think the Oilers have tonight? With Mike Smith being in net, that whole core is going to be throwing themselves in front of the puck. Watch the block shots tonight.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. They're not great at that, especially when Russell isn't playing. But be something to watch for sure. I'm keys to the game for me. I think Brian said it, and I don't know how it can't be the key to the game is scoring first. We've only lost one game all year when we've scored first, and that was that anomaly to Calgary that was 15-12 the other night. And that's the only game where we've scored first and didn't win. So I think that is the key. I think whoever scores first will win. So we'll go from there to see how it all shakes out. The thing I think also, as far as keys to the game will go, is the depth, as Brian alluded to earlier, who can stay on the ice and in the third period, if it comes down to a close game, who's still going to be able to give it their full effort in that last period. And maybe it comes down to that. Any other final comments, Durs?
You know, it took me so long to set up your guys' video, and I didn't even do that right, that by the time I got to my coffee, I might as well just threw it out, so that wasn't very good. But thanks for joining us this morning, Brian. People were watching on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, and who knows about Twitter. Thanks for watching, and, Dashney and myself are proud members of the Heavy Hockey Network. Lots of articles there, everything Oilers to read up on. Thanks for coming out, Brian. I don't know if you guys got a final word, then I'll shut us down.
Yeah, I'll let you finish it off, Durs. Any final comments, words, chirps from B to the T?
You know what? Thanks for having me on. This is cool. It's always good to just shoot the shit. To talk hockey. I'm going to text you, Dash, and how many beers deep I am watching the Masters. In the end, boys, with this game, win or lose, we still booze. So don't even worry about it. I wish I could pitch you something that like it's cool. You go on my Instagram. It's at Tiki Tremblay. You can look at pictures of my tattoos, my kid, and my several skins. It's pretty easy.
I thought at Tiki Tremblay. I thought it was at never mind. At hipster. No, never mind.
Oh yeah, hipster. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. It was fun. You guys are going down tonight, and I say that in the most respectful way. Have fun with another first round exit, and can't wait to come back on when I can hoist that cup.
Well, you did good, man. Maybe we'll have you on for the next Colorado game in a week or so if you're up for it. But in the meantime and in between time, we'll close this off. Thanks for tuning in, everybody that's had a listen. Oilers breakfast. So this video will float out there on Twitter for the rest of the day and Facebook. So let's try and drive some views and see what we can get. Brian, thanks a lot for being a good friend. Thanks for being a good customer of mine. Thank you for coming on the show. You're an incredible dude. You make me laugh every single time that we're together. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on when you were as blackout as you were last night. So thanks for scraping yourself out of bed. You look like $1 million. I thought Dursa did an excellent job of cropping your video to make your head look longer and not as big. So I thought you couldn't have looked any better there tonight. And thanks again, buddy. So that's it for me. Go Oilers, go. I hope that they have 10 straight La Bombas tonight at home. But it'll be a tough one. And I'm looking forward to it. Durs?
So if the Avalanche do end up winning the cup, we'll get you on and you can gloat.
Oh, yeah.
But if we lose in the first round, you can also gloat, and maybe we'll have you on for that. But how about if you guys lose in the first round, we have you back on, and we can rub it in your face. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, everybody. Game time tonight, 8 Mountain. Keep your sticks on the ice. Keep reaching for the stars. And go Oilers, go. Have a good day, everybody.
Go Oilers, go.
Not too bad. We rattled a couple off the bar today.
Hey, straight off the pipe, as they say.
You got 10 minutes to go and do whatever you need to do, Dash.
There we go. Just in time. Yeah, we're good, man. Okay, that's perfect. Brian, we'll talk to you in a bit, and I got to go figure out my Wordle now, I guess.
Yeah, no shit. I'm going to go back to my couch and go see how it feels.
All right, Tiger, get back in the Masters.
Okay, thanks, boys. That was fun.
Enjoy the golf.
Hopefully I didn't fuck this thing up too much, so hopefully it'll be okay.
You're great, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
And that was a great way to close this stream with a lot of heat and cussing. All right. See you later, everybody.